Hey guys, and welcome to a legendary scrap. I'm a rubber duck wall, but as you can see on the screen, today we're going to be focusing on the glorious Soul Grinder of Tzeentch. It does disgusting damage across the board, but particularly shines against enemy cavalry and monstrous infantry. This battle is going to be led by Lenorm, which is pretty badass. Lenorm has been a big contributor to the channel in a very long time, coming in with a bucket ton of awesome replays. Excited to see what he brings to the battle. He's a Tzeentch main, it would seem, as well. Got a load of Tzeentch replays from him, and I like his build quite a bit, so let's delve into this. With Forsaken dotted through the front line, backed up by triple spawn of Tzeentch. Pretty classic combo here. You hit the enemy in the front, and then you get your spawn on top, saturated, to hopefully dish out the pain and do some damage. In the back as well, we have some glorious blue horrors. Looks like 1, 2, 3 units of those bad boys. And then in the center, we have the two standout units. We have the Soul Grinder of Tzeentch, and then up in the skies, we have Chaos Fate Weaver, coming in with Regrowth, Pendulum, and Blue Fire. All very powerful spells. He also has his pin, which is quite tasty. Now, the Soul Grinder is beautiful. I love the Tzeentch one. It does that anti-large range damage, which really can add up quite a bit and significantly. For the forces of Khorne, it's a relatively simplistic build. We have a load of Chaos Warriors making up the main battle line in the same way the Forsaken are for Tzeentch. Then instead of spawning in the back, we have triple Minotaurs. Now, this, on paper, seems like a very good situation all round for Khorne. Their infantry, of course, should be able to deal with the Forsaken relatively comfortably, having a decent amount of armor, or at least hold the enemy in place. And of course, the Minotaurs will be able to tear through that infantry as well as the spawn. These are not the anti-large version, though. They are the double axe variety. On the far right-hand side, we do have a glorious Skull Crusher of Khorne unit, and leading the battle charge down here on the low with a Herald of Khorne riding dirty on his motorbike, looking to push forward and run over the enemy where possible. Pretty excited to see how this one goes, so let's delve into it. Blue Fire is going to be getting launched into existence. It does get Kobe down range. Aim for the Herald of Khorne. It takes some damage, but nothing too crazy. Nice little bit of juke in there by the Khorne player. Does mean he doesn't take significant damage in the early stages, and that's something Tzeentch is really good at, assassinating characters early on, so the more you can keep this bad boy alive, of course, the better. It looks like these Skull Crushers have already lost 2 models. The Soul Grinder is launching those beams down range. They're almost like little bits of crystal that explode into the enemy. And look, a load of cavalry models do fall once again. Big burst damage going down the Skull Crushers, but now being focused by a Blue Fire down the rank. Really nice early damage from the Tzeentch player onto Khorne, down to nearly half HP. And those Skull Crushers have certainly seen better days. They want to try and whip around the flank as quickly as possible to engage with the enemy. But again, they don't want to move in without the support of their infantry. They'd simply be deleted. I'd say early days, so far been some good trades for the Tzeentch player. But here we go, the Minotaurs bomb rushing on top of the Forsaken, clattering in. And it is just blood and thunder. An absolute clustercluck of madness as these warriors of chaos descend upon each other. More blue fire shots do go down at the enemy general, doing some okay damage, nothing too crazy. Luckily, though, for Tzeentch, we have the backline relatively unharassed at the moment. Skull Crushers are moving in, however, and we also have a summon of the Bloodletters. Looks like they're going to use, though, to rear attack the enemy Forsaken here, trying to bust through the front line as quickly as possible to overwhelm the Blue Horrors with the infantry. Not a bad gambit whatsoever. Fate Weaver does come with a disgusting pendulum down the line, do some lovely damage to the Chaos Warriors of Khorne. Looks like the Minotaurs are being focused fired down by the Blue Horrors, as well as that Soul Grinder, who just does really awesome long-range damage. You can see he is already up to a rather impressive 800 value. Still has ammunition left, launching shots down at the cavalry, eviscerating Skull Crushers, whose heads are popped by the magical maniacness of Tzeentch in general. Blue Horrors continue to unleash hell in the front. The fact Khorne have gone for this batter ram style of approach has kind of backfired heavily. Though they'll probably win these frontline engagements, they're taking so much damage from the little cheeky Blue Horrors, and they can't break through quick enough because there is a spawn who, of course, are unbreakable far in their path. Right-hand side's going really good for them, though. You can see one unit Forsaken is broken and running. The other one is incredibly beat up. In the back line, we did get Skull Crushers attempt to harass the Blue Horrors. They were able to harass them a little while, but now the Soul Grinder is in the mix of the cavalry once more, and is quite comfortably going to be able to overwhelm them. In the mid here, the Chaos Warriors have pushed through alongside some Minotaurs. They pop the shields of Blue Horrors, and now they should be able to get those axes into squishy, juicy flesh. Cultists should be enough to deal with this lowly spawn. On the far side, once again, Khorne are being victorious. So balance power currently in favour of Khorne. I could certainly see why, but with the mighty Fate Weaver alive, you can never really count out the force of Tzeentch, and it's certainly a very hotly contested game. Forsaken are able to rally here. Looks like Minotaurs are going to be shutting down some of the Blue Horrors, who are rather wisely being left on guard mode, so they can continue to shoot the back ranks in combat. do some lovely damage to the Minotaurs, who have certainly seen better days. But with the Minos in here, plus the Skull Crushers, looks like the Blue Horror's days are numbered a little bit. Lovely opportunity here for a Pendulum to go down the line and catch out 2 units of Chaos Warriors, because they're going to be a nightmare to deal with in the latter stages of the battlefield. And it looks like Tzeentch army is crumbling rather quickly at the moment, and the Skull Crushers do indeed go down here. Soulgrind's doing a fantastic job, been rather impressed with him. The Minotaurs are surrounding him, but they're not the anti-large variety. They are just the anti-infantry, so he's having a bit of a whale of a day. And we do have a lot of forces pushing through from Khorne. Minotaurs and Chaos Warriors busting open the center, driving back the Blue Horrors, who actually run out of ammunition, so there's not that much point in them fleeing right now. Down on this far side, Spawn are slowly going down. The Chaos Warriors of Khorne are certainly making a meal of it. Load of dead bodies sprawled across the battlefield. But the Glorious Herald of Khorne is going to be popping some wheelies and should be enough there to drag down the enemy infantry. We do get a big fat Pendulum go down the line, and that will roast these Chaos Warriors. That's a rather clutch play, actually. I think these Warriors were very healthy in the late game. There was no chance for Tzeentch. But being beat up, that does allow Tear Out, of course, to take effect, as well as just being more susceptible to breaking in general. Soul Grinder flings Minotaurs around as a bully in the monstrous infantry today. He's such a good cavalry and monstrous infantry killer in general. He's able to break this unit of Minotaurs and send them packing, tail between their legs. Bayweaver is able to save the situation over on the left-hand side. It was definitely a losing situation. With that Pendulum play, he is able to get himself back in the game, and both forces just rallying themselves here. Khorne on the right, Tzeentch on the left, as they try to take a bit of a breather. Balance power is dead even right now, although I must admit, Bayweaver counts for an absurd amount of balance power. Monsters who are casters or casters on chariots and stuff, their balance power was always way overestimated. But still, he is obviously a rather powerful beastie. Soul Grinder is trying to beat up the cultists of Khorne here and force him back. We still have the Herald nearby, though. It looks like the Chaos Warriors are going to start making a bit of a stand. We still have Minotaurs as well, which is certainly no joke. And the cultists, Minotaurs, and Herald can do some really nice burst damage to the single entities here of Tzeentch. It's good to note the Chaos Fateweaver really does not have much HP whatsoever. He's not that great in melee. Soul Grinder, however, is a bit of a naughty boy. It looks like the Forsaken have chased off the Chaos Warriors of Khorne, driving them away. The other unit of Chaos Warriors as well is routing, and the Minotaurs are being picked apart. We're going to fast forward this bit here as we just see Tzeentch is going to be cleaning up the routing units, which of course is what exactly they should be doing. Good, diligent tournament play here. Shatter the units, don't allow them to rally and kind of get back to their homies. It looks like the unfortunate Minotaurs have indeed shattered, but here we go. We're getting ready for the ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. These two lads do look to duke it out. Of course, the longer the fight goes on, the better for Tzeentch. They can pop more and more blue fire into the Herald of Khorne. But here we go. Seems like Forsaken are desperately going to try to hold the line. We've got a Locust of Wrath going down, increasing the melee attack by 40 on all this blob here. They are ripping it through the Forsaken. We do get a bit of a pin. The Herald has been pinned in place by the Gaze of Fate. Despite the fact Horn of Khorne and Locust of Wrath has gone down, we're going to get the fires of Tzeentch descend upon the Khorne forces. They need to escape, and they need to escape now. The Soul Grind's been destroyed, but here we go. The holy fires of Tzeentch shall bathe their enemies in madness and blood. And that is a massive turning point. All the enemy infantry has been wiped. The Herald of Khorne's been wiped. And that is crazy stuff right there. That's going to be pushing the balance power massively in favor of Tzeentch as the battle gets turned on its head. Minotaur's getting slaughtered in the midst of this. And the Soul Grinder is receiving a juicy regrowth here. He's going to be able to tear out basically all the enemy. And with just the snap of the fingers, Chaos Fateweaver Thanoses the Khorne army. And is able indeed to reign supreme. Very well played to these two lads. It was an awesome game indeed. And massive shout out, of course, to the mighty Lenormand for sending this one in. Really awesome stuff. Absolutely loved this game. Very different from yesterday's land battle, which was a huge, like, 20-minute Grand Cafe versus Ogre game. It was insane. Definitely make sure to go check that one out if you haven't already. This was a much more fast and furious affair with a load of infantry just slamming into each other. And I think Fateweaver, 2k value, not bad. 2,000 on the Soul Grinder as well, though. Certainly an MVP. The unfortunate Minotaurs never really got going. Neither could the Skull Crushers, alas, for Khorne. But they'll be back. It still is blood for the Blood Throne. And blood for the Blood God and skulls for the Skull Throne. At the end of the day, they still did their duty. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a good fun one to cast. If you did, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more glorious content into the future. And leave a comment down below what you thought of the game, what you'd like to see in the future, or just leave a funny comment. I really do enjoy reading them all. There's a load of links down below to Twitch, Patreon, and Discord. Twitch is where I do occasional extra streams. Discord is where you can submit replays to be cast on the channel, get involved in live streams and events and all that good stuff. or chill out with a load of awesome people. And Patreon is where you can support the channel financially, either doing it via Patreon or by becoming a member here on YouTube. Massive shout out to my patrons and members, who are the ones who keep the channel going and afloat. So until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.